welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Hulu's newest film, Books of Blood. Before we begin, let me know in the comments if you were looking forward to this or what your thoughts were if you've seen it already, and make sure to give this a thumbs up if you like these reviews. It helps me out immensely if you do that. Also, if you're new here and you like movies, whether it be blockbusters, hidden gems, or everything in between, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases and some classics. But now, let's jump right into it. This is an anthology movie focused on 3 stories. The first involves a woman named Jenna, played by Britt Robertson, who's suffering from a traumatic experience, is currently off her medication, and is renting a room at a B&B run by this older couple. The second story is about a woman named Mary, played by Anna Friel, who's grieving her dead son and finds herself in contact with another man who claims to be able to talk to the dead. And the third focuses on a hitman played by Yul Vazquez, who's searching for the actual book. This is based on the book series of the same name by Clive Barker, and I'm usually wary with anthology movies, especially horror anthology movies. I rarely go out of my way for them because they consist of about 5 or 6 segments, all written by different filmmakers, and they'll be vastly inconsistent in terms of quality. This one, however, is all directed by Brannon Braga, who co-wrote the screenplay with Adam Simon. The two of them were also creators on a series called Salem from the mid-2010s, so this isn't their first foray into horror. And with each story handled by them, it at least gives us the consistency that's lacking in other anthologies. We have 3 vignettes, all of which have the same quality in terms of tone, structure, and production value. Unfortunately, that doesn't help matters much here because this film is a massive snooze fest. I haven't read the actual Books of Blood series, but it has a huge following, and to my understanding, many of the stories are extremely creepy, with grotesque imagery, unique creatures, and some truly bizarre settings. While we do get hints of that here with some solid cinematography and some decent visuals here and there, including a few involving bugs, this is a very generic movie that offers little to no scares whatsoever. Characters might experience hallucinations or might see a ghost or a demon, but we never felt the full weight of how terrifying these situations were supposed to be. There will be brief flashes of this, but it'll be in between these boring conversations that gave us little to no character development, and these conversations would often feel dragged out and felt like setup for something much bigger than what we end up getting. The only true excitement would be in the final few minutes of each segment, but the payoff never felt like it was actually worth the wait. The movie was originally supposed to be an anthology series on Hulu, but for reasons I'm not entirely sure of, the idea got axed and it was turned into this movie. But it still has the production value of a standard TV series, or even a made-for-TV movie. So while some of the cinematography was pretty good, most of the production values looked and felt cheap. Whatever effects are used looked obviously fake, and things such as the image quality and lighting always made you feel like you were watching something obviously not real. You never felt like you were in the moment with these characters. And the screenplay was just atrocious, with some truly terrible dialogue. Whether it was trying to sound deep, or even when characters would just joke around, it all sounded incredibly hokey. One example is a scene in the second vignette where 2 characters are talking in a university, and one goes, "Are you a student?" And the other goes, "Of life." I found myself rolling my eyes at all that, among many other lines. It just sounded so phony. What didn't help either is that most of the acting just falls flat. Britt Robertson gives by far the best performance, and she gets the most screen time out of everyone, though I wouldn't call it exactly amazing, but she seemed to be the only one who put any actual effort into this. Everyone else, it felt like they were all just kind of going through the motions. A lot of it felt like there wasn't much effort. The delivery sometimes seemed monotonous or disinterested, and with most of these characters also being severely underwritten, all that combined just made me not care for them, and I never felt invested. And despite being labeled as an anthology movie, it then actually makes an attempt to tie everything together, mainly going back to the first story. I won't spoil how, just in case you want to see this, but it just felt like such a half-hearted attempt to stitch everything together. I appreciate it for trying to make it feel like one coherent story, but the twist felt incredibly underwhelming, and even if it was a little better, we don't see it until the very end, so regardless, it was too little too late. This was one of the dullest movies I've seen this year so far. It has a few creepy images, some solid cinematography, and a decent performance from Britt Robertson, but it's mostly devoid of scares, it felt very cheap, it didn't do much to make the characters compelling, it had extremely sluggish pacing, and besides Robertson, was just poorly acted all around. It's extremely forgettable and not worth your time, so skip it. Books of Blood gets a 3.5 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Books of Blood, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you find it scary? Did you like any of the stories? And what's a good horror movie you've seen this month? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll catch you next time.